Now what we're going to do is we're going to obviously start out with the lowest configuration, Express, and you see this little pop-up icon here on the bottom left. If you pay attention to this, you'll get an understanding of what types of features are added as we move up in the configuration. Okay, so we're currently looking at Express. So in Express configuration, you're going to do basically prismatic parts, 2.5 axis parts, very, very basic 3-axis, okay? And you have drilling as far as that. Let's go look at the list up here. So in Express, you got basic hole machining, you got standard drilling, and then you have different types of drilling, deep drilling, countersink, brake chip drilling, and more. And the types of tool you can use are targeted to these basic, very basic operation types. Now you also, that's the basic hole machining. In the basic 2-axis operation types, you can do, and if you look at this, if you look at the bar here, you'll get an understanding of which operation types would apply. But you can do facing, 2.5 axis facing, pocketing, basic profiling. You can do engraving and V-carving, and then obviously there's more. We can't list everything in here, all of the features, but you can go to our website, and if you select on one of the products from our website, just scroll down and you'll see the features table. So you'll get an idea of what everything that's involved with each configuration. So with Express, you have basic 3-axis operations. You have horizontal roughing and parallel finishing, just 2 basic 3-axis operations. Now, you need to understand that in the basic Express, the types of 3-axis parts you're going to be cutting will be very basic. One thing comes to mind is mold cores, very basic parts that you can just run one roughing and one finishing on the model. And then obviously we talked about the cutters. So that is the Express configuration. And again, targeted to basic, like for instance, sheet machining, if you're just cutting out patterns, okay? Or if you're cutting out a very simplistic prismatic parts. So we're moving
One
up.
other thing I wanted to add was, Donna, one other thing I wanted to add was to make sure that if you're just starting out in machining, this might be a good configuration to get. And then once you get your feet wet, you can always step up to the higher configurations. So it's a good starter configuration.
Yeah, we provide a really easy migration path if you need some additional features. Now, running a good way to get an understanding of whether you do need additional features, just run the product in demo mode like we mentioned in the previous slide, and just run the next highest configuration than you have, and you'll get an understanding of what are the additional features that are in there. So as I mentioned in the presentation, Express is reserved for all the functionality. If you're working with prismatic parts that are basically 2.5 axis parts, here's a good example right here. This part can be machined in our Express configuration. Let me just show you what the operation. I'll go through the menus too. So you get basic horizontal roughing. Okay, so we used horizontal roughing. Let's just go ahead and simulate this real quick. Let's turn that off. So
yeah, one of the things I should point out in the Express product is a simulation module that you get is only what we call the voxel simulation, and that's only works for a 3-axis type of machining. And it looks like you have the simulation accuracy pretty low down, so that's why you're seeing all those spikes. So.
Okay, it looks like we still got them. Those As Joe mentioned, the basic simulation model is very basic. It's not highly accurate, but it gives you just an idea of what the part will look like. Excuse me. So let's go through the menus up here. Okay, and I'm just going to go into the top menu up here. All the configurations. You have a RhinoCAM 2024 menu, or regardless of the version year. You have the RhinoCAM main menu, which you can run the different modules. Okay, so you see here all the different modules. We have mill, turn, profile nest, G-code editor, mesh, uh, nesting. We didn't really mention the mesh module in the presentation, but if you're machining point cloud meshes, you can use our additional
Actually,
module. Go ahead.
Don, we will be discontinuing that module, so let's not
Okay.
talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. So you got all the different modules you can load from the RhinoCAM main menu. So over here, let's look at the actual machining browser on the left. So the machine post part orientation, if you need to rotate your part to machine in a different direction, you can use the orient part command. You get the basic stock features, a box stock, part box stock, delete. You can also delete your stock and remove your simulations from the stock. Okay, and you also get your align functions to align your stock with the part. This is in all the modules. Also, what's called the set world CS. If you need to move the part in relation to the origin in Rhino, you can use this function here. And then as far as the machining operation types in Express, obviously you can create a work 0. You have just basic 2-axis operations in Express, facing, pocketing, profiling, engraving, and V-carveting. But those 4 operation types were all we needed to program this part, okay, which is a pretty complex part as far as the prismatic part goes. And you can program this, excuse me, in the Express configuration. As we mentioned, you only have a couple of basic 3-axis operations, horizontal roughing and parallel finishing. We showed you the roughing, but I didn't have a parallel finishing in here. This is for a contoured part. Again, the part type in Express, they need to be very basic contours, like if you're just cutting, as I mentioned in the presentation, for example, a thermoform mold core where you're just creating just a basic core model, and you just can run a 3-axis parallel finish operation across that entire part. Okay, so you got a parallel finishing as well as horizontal roughing. Okay, and then in holes you limit to drilling. However, you do have different types of drilling. Okay, so you have standard drilling, deep drilling, where the tool retracts as it cuts and retracts and cuts till it gets to the bottom of the hole, as well as countersink drilling and brake chip drilling. The difference between brake chip and deep is that the tool just comes all the way out of the hole and then enters again. Okay, so you get basically pretty much all of the hole cutting operation types as far as drilling goes. So you don't get any of the other 2-axis. You don't get the threading, tapping. I mean, and many of the other advanced 2-axis. You don't get those as well. Anything else you want to add to this configuration, Joe?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. So that, again, to recap, that was Express. Okay.